We just got Ryan Lochte landing at LAX. We literally put this up on the website 4 minutes ago. And this was a very interesting interview. This is kind of unvarnished Ryan Lochte talking, frankly, about drinking, which nobody's really talked to him about before, but I think he realizes now, at the very least,
that played a big role in what went down that night, and probably part of what he was covering up, to be honest.
And he might have a bigger problem that he sounds like he's open to talking about. So this is a little bit of Ryan Lochte just minutes ago when we got him in LAX.
There's a lot of people out there that would say that nothing good comes from, excessive drinking. Yeah. How has your opinion about that changed?
It's definitely something that I'm going to have to be more responsible about. Everything that happened in Rio, I'm definitely going to learn from it. We're human. We learn from our mistakes.
Are you going to consider rehab or AA?
I don't know. I can't answer that question right now. Right now, I need to just see my family and talk with them about it.
So I find that very, very interesting that he's somewhat open to it.
It's on the table. Clearly, right.
I don't think any of us know how bad, if it's even bad at all, if he has a bad problem, but he seems so shaken that it's something he would consider. I find that really interesting.
Yeah, that he's even going to talk to his family about it says a lot about that he's come a long way in the last week in dealing with this, because he's had to talk about it for so long, and his story was changing every time.
And it's gotten worse and worse for him, obviously.
Yeah, well, I think the big moment for him is the fact that all three of his sponsors have apparently decided they don't want to do business with him anymore, so they're hitting him in the pocketbook. You see Speedo's fired him. Ralph Lauren says they won't pick up his contract, and the same thing for that body hair company, hair removal, right. So, I think that's, nothing else could get to him. That's finally affecting him. Maybe that's the wake-up call that he needed.
Yeah, you may be right that the trigger was were the endorsements, but I almost feel like there's something a little bit deeper here, that there's a shame connected with what he did that doesn't necessarily correspond to the fact that he's losing money from Speedo, which is obviously awful for him. But I think having to deal with the fact that he's always been this kind of beloved, goofy guy, and now all of a sudden people are looking at him as the villain of Rio, that it probably really hurts him as much as the Speedo
And by the way,
thing.
I think he has to come to this, he has to reach this point at some point if he wants to compete in 4 years, which he said he wants to. But no one, until people see some humility from him.
No way, by the way.
Well, yeah, look, at age is one thing. I don't know if he'd be able to even do it at his age.
Well, he wants to.
But nobody would even, until he shows this humility, nobody's going to give him that chance to have another chance.
And you know what else, guy? And I agree with what everybody's just saying. I also think that part of it is we've been talking to people associated with him that keep arguing the point about the robbery and the gun and whether they pulled it on him and all that stuff. And there's some different views, the police and Lochte's team, but the universally agreed upon thing is that the bathroom with the urinating and the drunkenness and the way they acted, their behavior was terrible. So, and even Ryan, I think that's what he's saying to us guys, is that he understands that regardless of the money and the robbery and who was at fault at that point, the precursor, that behavior of being drunk at 6 in the morning, vandalizing the bathroom, even if it was a one sign and not, doesn't matter. He knows how bad it looks.
You're right. You're right. And really, now that you spelled out that way, it feels like rehab is really the only way out of this if you're Ryan Lochte's PR people, right?
I think you're absolutely right, and that's why I don't think he was dismissing it. I don't know how much that is on the table, but it sure feels like something that they could do to blunt all of this.
It's the only way people are going to look at it and be like, okay, we get it. You have a problem. We'll give you a pass because you have a problem.
That's right. And by the way, not unlike Michael Phelps. Not at all unlike Michael Phelps. And he's looking at Michael Phelps, who rose from the ashes, and that's the playbook, folks. Now, we got him also talking about the prospect of being benched by the USOC, which seems devastating to him, and also about Speedo.
What would be worse in your eyes, if they prosecute you or if the USOC says you can't swim again?
I think if the USOC says I can't swim anymore, I think that would be the most hurtful. just because I've put so much time and effort into this sport. I mean, that would be heartbreaking.
We heard that Speedo, has dropped you.
Speedo was great to me. They were like a second family throughout my swimming career. And, I guess it's a new chapter now.
This is kind of sad now.
But can I tell you something?
But that's what people need to hear.
There is something different about this encounter of any other encounter. It feels like it was all tried to be managed before.
Like he was digging in his heels on the little details before.
That's exactly.
And now he's just sort of, you see
He's like,
some humility.
okay,
he seems
this
sad,
is
he
me.
seems like a sad character.
He seems
now.
like a human being instead of a cartoon character anymore.
That's right.
Right.
And you know what? I mean, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. He seems more articulate, more introspective here than any place I've seen him yet.
Right.
That it just doesn't feel managed to me. It feels real. And in our world, based on what we see with situations like this, that's what works.
Hey, this is Alexis from South Jersey. I do see the difference in him from the interview to catching him off guard, but it still doesn't make up for anything. He needs those repercussions. It needs to hit him. He embarrassed us. He lied on another country. He needs this. He needs to go through this, and I personally do think he should be suspended from competing in the Olympics 2020. He needs the consequences, and it's going to happen. You can't just do the kind of stuff, get away with it, and think if you give us puppy eyes that it's going to be okay. It's not.
Well said.
Yeah.
I mean, there are sides to this.